Mr. Kugenauer.
Here.
Mrs. Langston.
Here.
Mr. Horstman.
Here.
Mr. Marche.
Here.
Mr. Detweiler. Mr. Martucci.
Here.
Mr. Renzi.
Here.
Mrs. Driscoll. Mr. Pinzella.
Here. Before we move to public comment for agenda items, I know a lot of people here to talk about the class rank. I'm going to have Mr. Bosnick speak first on the class rank, and then we'll move into everybody else. I don't know if this will help clear up anything or add more questions. We'll let Mr. Bosnick speak first. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for asking me to come today, and I really wasn't prepared to give much of a speech, but I have been made aware recently of some of the questions the community has regarding the decisions we made around class rank. So class rank, just to give my history of it, been the principal here for 16 years, this is year 17. It was a discussion we were having for over 10 years of, what was the best scenario we were putting our kids in to perform at their best, because obviously we want them to be motivated. We want them to engage in high-level curriculum, okay? And we want them to try to prepare themselves for a career in the future. So obviously with those being at the forefront of our thoughts, these conversations around class rank, the meaning of it, what it was, some of the issues we were dealing with, the challenges, I should say, that it was presenting, were happening year to year. So, some of the things that I can tell you that we dealt with, what we thought were issues that warranted much conversation as the years have passed here recently, was there are times when students have made choices curricularly that probably weren't in the best interest for their career down the road. Now again, I know there are high school children that change their mind on careers, over and over and over again. I'm well aware of that. But one of the things that we wanted them to do was we wanted them to challenge themselves and then be willing to expose themselves to a wide range of curriculum that either they were interested in or that had meaning towards their future potential careers. And I'll give you one. I had a conversation I thought it was a good idea, and really this great idea I had caused some apprehension, but I had called in our top 10 students one time. And that was the beginning of the year, and we were starting to have conversations, I thought, individually about their education, about, their past 3 years, this year, and then I did it again towards the end of the year. And I had called a student down for the second time, the student who ended up being the valedictorian, and I had a conversation about, we talked about some of these things at the beginning. Some of it I know I caught you off guard with when I asked you these questions, but if you could go back, would you change anything about the 4 years you spent at the high school, about, the education you got here, or is there anything that you could, bring light to that we can make sure we improve upon? And one of the things that a student had mentioned to me said, I want to be in engineering. I want to be an engineer, I'm sorry. But I was always too scared to put myself, or uncomfortable, I should say, put myself in shop classes and classes with CNC routers and robotics and things like that would have been applicable to my career because of being uncomfortable or because the class didn't have any weight. And over time, we started realizing many of our children make decisions in ways that don't benefit them the most. I've had students who not take a lunch, something that we would go through a process and try to ask them, we think it's unhealthy. I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to get as many weighted classes as possible. We began to see the students would find other ways to get around being in person, taking their classes, their weighted in high-level classes here in high school. So there was multiple occasions where the system of what we had, we didn't feel like we're benefiting our students overall. And then, over year, you start realizing that many school districts in the community in Western Pennsylvania, throughout the country. So we started calling, other public schools, and then eventually even the local universities, trying to figure out where is this right avenue for us to have for our students. Like, did class rank have a huge impact to a student's scholarships, getting into a program? And there wasn't one time that I got a return answer of, yes, it had an impact. That we did more to a valedictorian. So we kind of called all the local scholarships, all the local colleges. We split them up within the office area and spent a lot of time trying to research and do that. And that was kind of the answer we got back. So, again, many different things seem to be impacting that. Our students didn't even realize until the end of their career what number they were. We don't advertise that. At the end of your freshman year, we don't tell you, you're number one in the freshman class. At the end of your sophomore year, we don't tell you that you're number one in your end of your sophomore class. Now, there are times that somehow someone found out, I'm sure. But why I bring that up is someone who makes a curricular decision on their courses and understands the system can benefit and give themselves an advantage over someone who doesn't, who's not in the know. And that's all. Sometimes they get the higher rank just based on their understanding of the system, not based on performance. So obviously that was another factor that came about is we wanted to make sure if we were going to continue to do class rank or ask you guys, talk to you about class rank, that the system was something that was going to be determined by who was the best student as much as possible. And some of those factors began to show themselves over the last few years of, there were variations, which there is in every system in the country. But that's why I think some of the school districts have gotten away from it. Overall, I grew up in playing sports, and they were very important to me. So competition is very important. I see the huge values of it. If I believed that we were making choices that were going to have a negative impact on our children's future success or motivation or drive to be their best student possible, believe me, I would never have spoken to you guys about some of the issues that we were dealing with. I hope the community understands and believes that. We have good intentions, and we were trying to make sure that our children were getting the best education that was available to them in a manner and in a direction that they believed where it was their future. So I think I'll end my thing, and I'll be glad to answer any questions you guys have.
Well, I think I was on the committee when we first discussed that, and I believe at that point we were to notify the ninth graders coming in so they could plan accordingly. Was that ever done, do you know?
I mean, was there an official message sent out? I'm not aware that there was an email sent out. Obviously, it's in our course selection book that this is the way we're going to calculate class rank, and at the class of 2025 was going to be the last year, and then we were going to change into a different honoring system. So that was in the course selection book for 2 years.
So shame on the ones that did not read their book.
Well, again, that's part of the advertisements that we did.
All right, I just wanted to, let the folks know out there that it should have been communicated to them. Their student was in the 9th grade. And we could have ironed this out a long time ago. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Boston.
May I ask one more question,
Oh,
Mr. Bosnick? This is an easy one. To the students who are applying for scholarships, applying to different colleges, if they need a class ranking, is that readily available and can they access it or get you to send that to the school or the organization that they're applying to for scholarships?
Yes, ma'am. Like most universities take a general application now, it's an online digital application, and they ask the question and through the drop-down boxes is, does your school have a class rank or doesn't your school have a class rank? Because again, it's different across the country. And, but we will, if there is a school that would ask for it or it would be to the benefit of our student to apply it, we would be glad to send it. Thank you.
thank you, Mr. Boston. Move into non-agenda items. First person we have, oh, I'm sorry, on agenda's after. We have nothing under agenda. Moving to buildings and grounds, or athletics, Mrs. Sangston. I'll get it right.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Request approval of Dr. Gina Canada as athletic position at a cost of $4,800 for the 25-26 school year. The questions or objections, I'd like that on the agenda.
Hearing none, that'll be placed on the agenda.
Request approval to award bids for winter sports supplies and equipment to the lowest responsible bidder, meeting specifications as affects. No questions or objections, I would like that on the agenda.
Hearing none, that'll be placed on the agenda.
And request approval of the following volunteer coach. No questions or objections, I would like that on the agenda.
Hearing none, that'll be placed on the agenda.
That's all I have, Mr. Renzi. Mr. Renzi. Mr. Martucci. Mr. Evans. That's all we have, Mr. Gonzalez. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Sangston. Moving to buildings and grounds, Mr. Kokoc.
Thank you, Mr. Van. Request approval of the following event building usage request. I'd like to have 1 through 11 spread. No questions or objections, all I got on the agenda.
Hearing none, that'll be placed on the agenda.
Boiler preventive maintenance approval to accept a 1-year service agreement with Hutchinson Mechanical Service Incorporated for a boiler preventive maintenance at Collinsville High School 2 times a year at a cost of $5,179. No questions or objections like that placed on the agenda.
Hearing none, that'll be placed.
Question on that. What's the scope of work that they're going to be doing on both of those? Because we got the boiler and the cooling that's.
Any other questions?
Okay.
Hearing none, it'll be placed on the agenda.
Equipment preventive maintenance, approval to accept a 1-year service agreement with Hutchinson Mechanical Services Incorporated for a cooling preventive maintenance at the Collinsville Administrative Building 2 times a year at a cost of $1,677.11. No questions or objections, I'd like that placed on the agenda.
Hearing none, that'll be placed on the agenda.
Request approval of the following additions to the substitute custodian list for the 2025-2026 school year. No questions or objections, I'd like that placed on the agenda.
Hearing none, that'll be placed on the agenda.
Auction items. Request approval to post 2 unused school district vehicles to the municipal bid site at no cost to the district. Online auction placed for government agencies as proposed. 2003 Chevy Silverado and 2001 Dodge Dakota. No questions or objections, I'd like that placed on the agenda.
Hearing none, that'll be placed on the agenda.
That's all I have, Mr. Panzella, Mrs. Sangston.
Nothing, thank you.
That's all we have, Mr. Panzella, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kokenar. Moving to the Carnegie Free Library, Mrs. Driscoll.
Hi, I have nothing this month. Mr. Martre, do you have anything? Mr. Hirschman?
I have nothing, thank you.
Okay, that's all we have.
Thank you, Mrs. Driscoll. Moving to the Collinsville Area Career and Technical Center, Mr. Kokenar.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. Equipment purchase for heavy highway equipment purchase for heavy equipment program. Request approval to enter into a purchase agreement with Groff Tractor and Equipment Harmony PA for the purchase of a John Deere 410 B-Tier backhoe 2023 loader. Sourcewell contract number 011733, JDC, subject to the Collins Area School District standard terms and conditions for the purchase of goods and service. Purchase price $140,000 with all costs being reimbursed by the SDW 5 Schools to Work 5 grant. No questions or objections like that placed on the agenda.
Hearing none, that'll be placed on the agenda.
Those are rental for heavy equipment program. Request approval to enter into a rental agreement for a period of 9 months, September to May 2025-2026, with Cleveland Brothers CAT equipment for one piece of equipment for the heavy equipment program, subject to the Collins Area School District standard terms and conditions for the purchase of goods and services. The piece of equipment is a D2XL dozer. The annual cost will be $25,890 as budgeted in line. Item B1131, rental of equipment for the Career and Technical Center. That's an increase from the 2024 to 2025, $20. No questions or objections like that placed on the agenda.
Hearing none, that'll be placed on the agenda.
Request approval to enter into a purchase agreement with CM Labs, Montreal, Quebec, Canada for the purchase of a Vortex Edge Max heavy equipment simulator, Coast Guard number 564821, subject to the Collins Area School District standard terms and conditions for the purchase of goods and grants. Purchase price is $79,995 with all costs to be reimbursed by the STW5 Schools to Work 5 grant. No questions or objections like that placed on the agenda.
Hearing none, that'll be placed on the agenda.
College and high school agreement. Request approval of the college and high school agreement between West Point Community College and the Collins Area Career and Technical Center from July 1st, 2025 through July 1st of 2028. No questions or objections like that placed on the agenda.
Hearing none, that'll be placed on the agenda.
That's all I have, Mr. Panzella, Mrs. Sangston.
Nothing, thank you.
That's all we have, Mr. Panzella, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kokenar. Moving to curriculum, Mr. Martucci.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. Request approval of a 5-year teacher education affiliation agreement between Seton Hill University and the Collins Area School District as proposed. No question or objection like that placed on the agenda.
Hearing none, that'll be placed on the agenda.
And that's all I have at this time. Mr. Renzi. Dr. Kins.
I have nothing, thank you.
That's all, Mr. Panzella. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Martucci. Moving to cyber, Mr. Martret.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. We have nothing for the agenda on Wednesday. Mr. Driscoll, do you have anything to add?
I have nothing, thank you.
Mr. Harshman?
I have nothing, thank you.
Mr. Ghost?
Nothing, thank you.
Okay, that's all we have.
Thank you, Mr. Martret. Moving to federal programs, Mr. Harshman.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. Item 13A, non-public services. Request approval of the agreement between Intermediate Unit 1 and the Collins Area School District for Title II and Title IV services for non-public schools for 2025-2026 school year. No questions or objections. I'd like that placed on the agenda.
Hearing none, that'll be placed on the agenda.
That's all I have. Mr. Renzi? Mr. Martucci? Dr. Coons?
I have nothing, thank you.
We have nothing, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harshman. Moving to finance, Mr. Renzi.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. Request approval to solicit quotes for the tax anticipation note in the amount of $5 million for the 2025-2026 school year. No questions or objections. Got placed on the agenda, please.
Hearing none, that will be placed on the agenda.
Request approval to accept the following donations to the Bible Club from the Connersville Area Ministerial Association for $500, from New Life Baptist Church in Dunbar Township $200, from Jason and Amy Riccio $300, for piano restoration from Square Online for $241.85, Mary Ann Phillips for $50. No questions or objections. I got placed on the agenda.
Hearing none, that will be placed on the agenda.
Request approval of the attached requisition orders and to authorize district business office to process orders and payments. No questions or objections. Like that placed on the agenda.
Hearing none, that'll be placed on the agenda.
Anything else, Mr. Kokenar?
Thank you.
Mrs. Ralston, would you please explain to everybody what about the tax anticipation note, please?
So the tax anticipation note is a loan that a district would take out with anticipation of receiving revenues from the state or from local taxes. And we normally, right now, we have a fund balance and we would have money. However, this, with the state not passing a budget, they are not releasing any of their funds. So we are receiving no state or federal funds at this time. So with only the local funds that we have, we will, exhaust our savings that we have, in our fund. So at some point, probably later in this calendar year, we would have exhausted all funds if the state does not release funds. So this is, in the event we need it, we will have this process started to take out that loan, to
Just in
get
case the
us one
state
more
doesn't-
month longer.
Just in case the state budget is not passed by sometime in October, November.
November, yeah. So, but however, this just is to get rates. Hopefully, the state will pass a budget, and then we will not need to take out this loan. And we will not take it out until necessary.
What's in our fund balance right now?
Well, the fund balance was as of the audited state. That's a one shot, it's close to 23 million, and that's our fund balance, but that's not our cash value. I mean, the cash accounts right now.
Why couldn't we just take 5 million from there?
Because.
And put it over, then we
so-
get the money from the state. put it
So no,
back.
your fund balance is, not, so that's our savings. We're not receiving any revenue from the state or the federal. So we're going to use the funds that are in our savings, that are in our accounts, that are accumulating interest right now. We'll be using those over the next several months without receiving, we get a lot of money from the state. So without receiving those, by November, we're going to need additional funding if the state does not release the funds. However, if the state approves the budget, then those funds will not be necessary. We'll put all that, as they release the funds, it'll go back into those savings accounts, earn more interest that will help out the districts. I'm sorry. No, this is the board, asking the board to approve for me to get rates. So I will obtain those. They'll be due sometime in this next month, and I will have rates for the next board meeting.
Thank you. So bad, Mr. Benzel.
And you may never execute this only if needed, so we would pay nothing unless you execute.
Exactly. We would not take the money nor owe any interest unless we absolutely need the money. And we will be monitoring the cash. I mean, right now, we're in a good shape. It's like when we get to November and December that we would have a problem if the state does not release any funds. I mean, I'm hopeful that the state will pass a budget, release funds, or if they don't have a final budget, as they did last year, they did vote to release some funds early on before the budget was approved. And if that happens, then we would be okay.
And just because you got the quotes, we would still have to approve the execution of the note.
Yes, the board would be given the rates next month, or, if we don't need it next month, the following month, and then the board would execute that. Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, no other questions? Hearing none, it'll be put on the agenda. So that's all we have for finance. Moving to food service, Mrs. Sankson.
Thank you. Request a conditional approval contingent upon successful submission of screening and background checks for the cafeteria worker substitute. This for the 25-26 school. Questions or objections, I would like to have on the agenda.
Hearing none, it'll be placed on the agenda.
Do I have Mr. Mortray,
No,
Mr. Kokenar, Mr. Triplon? Whoa, this one's gonna rain. Thank you, that's all we have.
Thank you, Mrs. Sankson. Moving to personnel and review and liaison, Mr. Renzi.
Thank you, Mr. Benzel. Request approval to hire the following support personnel effective for the 2025-2026 school year, subject to completion of all necessary clearances, employment documents and requirements, and applicable board policies, including without limitation, board policies 504, 508, and 509. No questions or objections, like that placed on the agenda, please.
Hearing none, that'll be placed on the agenda.
The following Family and Medical Leave Act leaves are confirmed by the board. We have an aide effective July 28, 2025, intermittently for the 2025-2026 school year, and a teacher effective August 8, 2025, intermittently for the 2025-2026 school year. No questions or objections, like that placed on the agenda.
Hearing none, that'll be placed on the agenda.
Request approval for teacher to take a sabbatical for the fall semester of the 2025-2026 school year, conditioned upon submission of district acceptance and approval of all necessary sabbatical documentation. No questions or objections, like that placed on the agenda.
Hearing none, that'll be placed on the agenda.
Request a conditional approval contingent upon successful submission of screening and background checks of the following additions to the support personnel substitute list for the 2025-2026 school year. No questions or objections, like that placed on the agenda.
Hearing none, that'll be placed on the agenda.
Request to approve the memorandum of agreement and memorandum of understanding with the CACM-ESBA to resolve outstanding grievances as proposed. No questions or objections, like that placed on the agenda.
Hearing none, that'll be placed on the agenda.
Request to approve the memorandum of understanding with the CAEA as proposed. No questions or objections, like that placed on the agenda.
Hearing none, that'll be placed on the agenda.
Request a conditional approval contingent upon successful submission of screening and background checks of the following additions to the long-term substitute list for the 2025-2026 school year. No questions or objections, like that placed on the agenda.
Hearing none, that'll be placed on the agenda.
Request approval to ratify the acceptance of the resignation of cafeteria worker effective August 1st, 2025. No questions or objections, like that placed on the agenda.
Hearing none, that'll be placed on the agenda.
Request a conditional approval contingent upon successful submission of screening and background checks of the following additions to the professional substitute list for the 2025-2026 school year. No questions or objections, like that placed on the agenda.
Hearing none, that'll be placed on the agenda.
Request approval to ratify the acceptance of the resignation of an aide effective August 7, 2025. No questions or objections, like that placed on the agenda.
Hearing none, that'll be placed on the agenda.
Request approval to ratify the acceptance of the resignation of aide effective August 7, 2025. No questions or objections, like that placed on the agenda.
Hearing none, that'll be placed on the agenda.
And request approval for teacher to take a sabbatical for the fall semester of the 2025-2026 school year, conditioned upon submission and district acceptance approval of all necessary sabbatical documentation. No questions or objections, like that placed on the agenda.
Hearing none, that'll be placed on the agenda.
Mr. Martuzzi, anything to add?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Witt? Mr. Evans? That's all we have, Mr. Pantel. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Renzi. Moving to policy and legislative, Mr. Martret.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. Our second reading for request of approval of the second reading of the following policies, and that was policy 210, use of medication. No questions or objections. I'd like to have that placed on the agenda.
Hearing none, that'll be placed on the agenda.
In 17B, we have first readings for the request of the changes on these policies. 011, principles of governance and leadership. 222, tobacco and vaping products. 227, controlled substances and paraphernalia. And 903, public comment, board meetings. No questions or objections. I'd like to have those placed on the agenda.
Hearing none, that'll be placed on the agenda.
And Mrs. Driscoll, do you have anything additional? We had a policy committee meeting on August 15th, 2025 at 9 a.m. Mrs. Driscoll, do you have anything additional?
Thank you.
Mr. Harshman?
I have nothing, thank you.
Mr. Evans? Okay, just one thing, if any board member would like to request a copy of the policies or a few minor changes on them, you can see the board secretary, and she'll get you a copy of that. Thank you very much. That's all we have.
Thank you, Mr. Martret. Moving to safety and security, Mr. Martucci.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. We have no agenda items at this time. Ms. Driscoll?
I have nothing, thank you.
Ms. Sangster?
Nothing, thank you.
And Mr. Carlock? Everything that?
I have nothing, thank you.
That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Martucci. Moving to special education, Mr. Harshman.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. Item 19A, WPSD interpreter agreement. Request approval of the agreement between the Connellsville Area School District and the Western Pennsylvania School for the Deaf for off-campus interpreting services at a cost of $25,000 and will be billed in 10 equal installments of $2,500 starting the month of September 2025. No questions or objections, I'd like that placed on the agenda.
Hearing none, that will be placed on the agenda.
Item 19B, Continuum Pediatric Nursing. Request approval of the agreement between the Continuum Pediatric Nursing and the Connellsville Area School District for nursing services at a rate of $45 per hour. No questions or objections, I'll take that placed on the agenda.
Hearing none, that will be placed on the agenda.
19C, Maximum Healthcare Services. Request to amend the January 2024 Educational Institution Staffing Agreement with Maximum Healthcare Services and the Connellsville Area School District for one-on-one nursing services. No questions or objections, I'll take that placed on the agenda.
Hearing none, that will be placed on the agenda.
That's all I have. Ms. Driscoll? Mr. Martre? Mrs. Banya? We have nothing, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harshman. Moving to student services, Mrs. Sankey.
Request approval of the yearly non-athletic supplementals for the 25-26 school year as proposed. Questions or objections, I would like that on the agenda.
Hearing none, that will be placed on the agenda.
Request approval of the qualified service agreement between the Fayette County Drug and Alcohol Commission and Bronxville Area School District. Questions or objections, I would like that on the agenda.
Hearing none, that will be placed on the agenda.
Request approval of the 25-26 CAHS musical budget not to exceed $50,000, conditioned upon obtaining necessary performance license. Questions or objections, I would like that on the agenda.
Hearing none, that will be placed on the agenda.
Everyone travel with Kyle Martin, lead students will be participating in a Delta Highway volunteer program every Tuesday or Wednesday, weather permitting, from September through May. Any questions or objections, I would like that on the agenda.
Hearing none, that will be placed on the agenda.
Oh, I have Ms. Driscoll.
I have nothing, thank you.
Mr. Kokenar? That's all we have, thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Sankey. Moving to technology, Mr. Martre. Technology, Mr. Martre.
Sorry.
Technology.
Oh, that's right. We have nothing. We have nothing on the agenda for Wednesday. Mr. Harshman, do you have anything additional?
Yes, I have one question for Mr. Ghost. Are we all ready with the internet and everything up and ready to fly?
Yes, sir. We coupled our internet speed over the summer. We're good.
Okay, we're good then. That's all I have, thanks.
That's all we have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Martre. Moving to transportation, Mr. Kokenar.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. Request approval of the school bus run stops for the 2025-2026 school year on file in the transportation office. These are available on the Connellsville Area School District website and have been published in the Daily Courier. Questions or objections, like they placed on the agenda.
Hearing none, that will be placed on the agenda.
Request approval of the bus van drivers list for the 2025-2026 school year. Any questions or objections, like that placed on the agenda.
Hearing none, to be placed on the agenda.
That's all we have, Mr. Panzella. Mr. Martucci. Mr. Renzi. Mr. Evans. That's all we have, Mr. Panzella. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kokenar. Nothing under President's report. Now we will move to public comment for non-agenda items. First up, we have Emma Hall on class rank. I just want to remember everybody, you have 3 minutes, please.
evening. My name is Emma Hall, and I'm a senior at CAHS. On behalf of all the speakers here today, I'd like to start off by thanking each and every one of you for your time and patience with us as we've expressed our displeasure over a decision we made about a year and a half ago to eliminate valedictorian and salutatorian in the top 10. We hope that after hearing our various testimonies and arguments, you will revisit said decision with a broadened perspective. Last month, my friends Natalie Mangus and Morgan Nicholson and I created a petition on change.org, a copy of which has been passed out to you, along with a copy of an email we sent to you around the time the petition was created. At the time of the print, we had 1,005 signatures, but we currently have 1,013. This petition was created in Natalie's kitchen, and I remember the three of us being overjoyed when we hit just 10 signatures. Now we have over 1,000. We were uncertain as teenagers whether or not what we were doing would be taken seriously, but as we watched the number of signatures rise one by one, it reassured us that this was a matter at least worth pursuing. I'd like to personally thank Mr. Renzi for taking the time to form a direct response to our petition, as also visible on change.org, and making us feel seen and heard at a time of frustration and uncertainty. Now I'd like to address a few of Mr. Renzi's claims and his response. It was said there was a study of local high schools and colleges on the value of class rank. Respectfully, what was the study specifically? Who conducted it, and was it made available for public view? Mr. Renzi also said, and I quote, "The inequity of class rank lies in the inability to compare competing student achievement when you have many schools graduating 500 plus students and many graduating less than 100 students. I'd like to argue that class rank is determined by GPA, which is not directly affected by the number of attendees at a school. It is a calculation based on an individual's grades in weak classes. Class rank also has merit in the arena of college applications, as it gives colleges context of a student's academic performance compared to peers in the same school environment. Class rank creates an environment of healthy competition among students, similar to how students must essentially compete with other applicants to attend a college or university. It is also likely that many students from our school may be competing with one another to get into our local colleges, such as Penn State and the University of Pittsburgh. Of course, one isn't guaranteed acceptance, perhaps over another student from the same school. Having class rank at CAHS would allow colleges to see how students compare at Connersville Area High School, as many may be applying to some of the same places. As we all believe you based your decision off of what you think is best for the student body, we believe that in doing so, you may have unintentionally put us students at a disadvantage and taken away an advantage some of us who are naturally academic achievers by nature were counting on. Thank you for listening.
Next, we'll have Ben Metzger on class rank. 3 minutes, please.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Benjamin A. Metzger, and I was a 2025 graduate of Connersville Area High School. During my time attending school here, I was unaware of many decisions made by the school. My main focus here, similar to many others, class rank. When the petition was created, there were replies from several members. Notably, there was one stating that they announced the removal a few years prior in the newspaper. I would like to point out the newspaper is an extremely underused and outdated form of information. It seems hidden almost to quote-unquote make an announcement. Nothing against it. Countless emails are sent district-wide about things that apply to sports, things don't even include everyone, let alone many. But like the newspaper, things that have to subscribe to that applies to everybody, that just seems sly. I understand that this issue is extremely divided and everyone has many opinions on this, but I would like to ask, were any students here asked about their opinion when this decision was made? Or was it just the opinion of you folks? We say that class rank only stresses the students, but only people that care about the class rank are the ones pushing and striving to do better. If you want to take away the motivation for those that try, frankly, if this would have happened when I was here, I would have stopped trying because there's no reward. This is not just motivation for college, this is competition that runs throughout life. I've experienced this in work, in school, and the workload of AP classes. I fully believe that this decision will have the opposite effect that you hope. I would also like to touch on what affects GPA and how that's affected. Personally, online AP classes, it seems sneaky. I had no idea that you could even take online AP classes until I found out that people did take them at the end of my senior year. This method was talked about so little, and the few that knew about it took massive advantage of it. I took 6 AP classes last year to challenge myself to prepare for the workload of college. Yet, the few the few number of kids that took them managed to squeeze me out of the top 10. And that doesn't matter. I still tried my hardest. But let alone there's no reward for what I was here to do. I understand that it was a completely reasonable method to increase GPA, but to compare everyone fairly, such as removing class rank is trying to do, I ask that online classes, online AP classes, not be included in increasing GPA, or make it more public knowledge. And if you do stop as well, because those without internet or those unable to take online classes, it gives them a
3
completely
minutes.
unfair chance. That was 3 minutes? Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next, we move to Julian Smith, the class rank.
Good evening, members of the board. I'm Julian Smith. I'm a current senior at Connellsville Area High School. I'm asking you to put yourselves in my shoes and many of my other classmates. Imagine spending hours studying and 4 years of trying your best to be the best you can be, and be able to see that reflected at the end of your school career, only to find out that your representation is gone, and real challenge, and you're no longer recognized for your hard work. An upcoming senior is very real challenge for me and my fellow classmates who have done so much these last 3 years, only to find out that our final year will no longer be officially recognized as class rank is now renewed. For the years the school board has been seen as a group that supported the students, the people who fight for what's best for us. However, by taking away class rank, that image has been broken. The decision does not make us feel supported, it makes us feel overseen and dismissed. Class rank isn't just a number on a transcript. To us, it represents years of effort and long nights studying, and the choice to challenge ourselves with harder classes when we could have taken the easy way out. To some of us, the rank is proof that the work we put in is actually means something. And now we've reached the point of being recognized for it. And then we hear that it's obsolete. Taking away class rank removes motivation for many students. It takes away the recognition that pushes us to be the best. But most of all, it sends the message that the board, the very people that we trust, that put students first, doesn't value the same things that we value. We're not here to fight for a number, we're here to fight for recognition, motivation, and for the simple right to have our hard work acknowledged. Removing class rank was the wrong choice, and we're asking you to reconsider. If you truly want to be remembered as the leaders who put students first, please listen to us and reconsider bringing back class rank. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next, we have Flip Knives, class rank.
Hello, thank you. It's Felipe Nieves, but everybody knows me here as Flip. I'm here standing for the students. I do have a student here. I've had put 2 other students through this school district. And I just want to say we live in a competitive society, just in general. When these kids go to start to do their day, they're competing no matter what. Just like what we said with Emma. We said when they go to schools, they aren't guaranteed to go to this school. They're not guaranteed to go to that school. They're trying to put in work. You turn on your TV, on Sunday we're watching sports. They're competing for the best that they can. You know, it's not even just in sports in general, it's in the work. I am a union flooring installer, and I'm telling you, I'm going to hire that person who does work, who puts their time, who's going to do the work. I've been working for a long time, and these kids that are right here, they are trying their best to succeed. They put themselves through all kinds of things. I walked into this school this year, and there's a Hall of Honor that used to be here with pictures of students from this school that is no longer there. These kids look forward or are trying to put their mark in society in the future. And you're taking away what they're trying to earn. This school is just making everybody mediocrity. You know, it just seems like you're just making everybody the same and conforming to a society that we're not. Society competes. Every day we're looking for the best, you know. A doctor is still a doctor even if he does it, but he puts the work in. You know what I mean? If he graduates a doctor out of school. I just want people to understand that this rank means a lot to a lot of people, no matter who you are. It's putting the time and work and effort into their lives that they are trying to do. Maybe the system was broken, and I agree with Mr. Boston, that these kids were pushing themselves, and it wasn't right. But fix the system and make the system work properly, and maybe they'll understand. And then to go back to it, this started 2 years ago, I believe, is what you guys were doing. This senior class right now should not be affected by this class rank. I actually have a sophomore son that this would have affected. I myself did not receive any notification with my sophomore son on his freshman year. The curriculum is done in the school. They fill out their schedule in the school, and you guys tell the students. How is a 13-year-old student supposed to pick his classes based on not being ranked when he's still getting these weighted classes? You know, I'm trying to understand why this was all made available and why some people would say, shame on you for not looking at your rank or not seeing that this was taken away from you. Again, like I said, this was 2 years ago that you guys did it, so it would have affected the freshman class of last year.
3 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we move to Robin Turlington, class rank.
Good evening. My name is Robin Turlington, and I'm speaking as a concerned parent of a student of the class of 2026. When this decision was made to eliminate the class rank in November of 2023, our incoming class of 2026 were sophomores. For almost a year and a half, many of these students were carefully building their schedules and taking college prep and honors classes, which had the potential to increase their GPA, already thinking about college and beyond. To say that these students felt pressured to take multiple AP courses in their junior and senior year solely to increase their class rank and join the race for valedictorian does them a disservice. It does not take into account that they are not only using high school as a place to explore their interests in different subjects, but they are taking the classes that best suit their needs, and their heightened GPA may increase their chances of receiving scholarships and merit-based aid. Can we recognize that naming the top 10 in the graduating class through rank and the valedictorians and the salutatorians of both the high school and the CACTC sends a powerful message that academic achievement is valued and celebrated within the school community. It sets a standard of excellence that can encourage other students to strive for higher achievements. I am not opposed to publicly recognizing more students for their academic achievements, as with the inclusion of Latin honors with the class of 2024. But just 1 year later with the class of 2025, those students that achieved that distinction went from having the honor accompanying their name over the loudspeaker of the stadium to only being listed on the inside of the graduation booklet. In fact, valedictorian of the class of 2025 was our own high school assistant principal's son. Are we to believe that Dr. Stern, someone well-versed in the educational system, did not realize the importance of class rank and that being named valedictorian may give her son extra consideration when applying for scholarships or college acceptance? Was she concerned that he was taking too many AP courses as opposed to exploring other classes, the arts perhaps? Or was she supporting her son's dream, encouraging him to challenge himself academically and preparing him for the competitive nature of the path ahead? If the true reason in eliminating class rank lies in wanting to protect our students' mental health, and to offer the opportunities of a more well-rounded education, I ask that our school's guidance counselors step up and truly counsel these students in making scheduling decisions with their well-being in mind, and not just send a schedule home to be signed by the parent after being filled out by the student independently. I respectfully ask the members of the school board to reconsider their decision and reinstate class rank for the class of 2026 and beyond. I implore you to find ways to acknowledge the accomplishments of all deserving students, but not take away those that have already been established, such as rank, salutatory, and valedictorian. Sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next we have Randy Dawson.
They are given that book for a reason, and it's to go over their course descriptions, whatever they may take. Excuse me if I'm sorry if I upset somebody, saying shame on you. I did not say any particular name. I just said shame on the person for not looking at their book. To move on to the next person, we still have a few to go. Next we have John Baldwin, class rank. You have to come to the podium, they said, if you're going to speak. All right, thank you. Next we'll move to Natalie Mangus, class rank.
Good evening. My name is Natalie Mangus, and I'm a member of the 2026 class and one of the creators of the petition before you. Thank you for allowing us to comment. I would like to share my perspective on class rank. When this change was announced a few years ago in the newspaper, we had no idea that it was new. Clearly, that should not have been the only way that we were notified. Last year's graduating class were juniors when this change was made and were already taking AP classes. So they were allowed to continue in class rank for that system. I would argue that our class, the 2026 year, and the current junior class, who were freshmen at the time, would also be able to continue under that system. Once we come to high school, we are able to take weighted classes which affect our GPA. My class had already been taking CPs and honor classes which are weighted plus 0.25 and plus 0.5 respectively. If you want to make a change, stop allowing online AP classes. They are not taught by the same teachers that we have in school, and I know that AP Lit is significantly less challenging online than the work that we did in school for Ms. Labuda. I understand that this cannot happen until after the class of 2027 graduates. Say that it would be unfair to the classes following us and that 2029 would be the next year to reinstate class rank. I say that the students in those classes had every opportunity to choose the classes that they wanted. If they are taking CPs and honor classes now, they have chosen classes that benefit them. Some students take easier classes and breeze through school. That's their choice. Many other students choose classes that make our college lives easier. I anticipate by the end of my senior year, I will already earn 24 college credits. I was actually unaware that online AP classes were even available until recently. I'm taking AP classes to make my college more affordable. We are one of the poorest counties in the state, and most of us do not have families that can simply write a check for our college educations. AP classes can lift some of that burden off of our shoulders, why many of us choose to take them. We checked with multiple colleges and found that while class rank is no longer one of the most prevalent metrics for admission, that does not mean it's not discounted. GPA and class rank are definitely considered. When filling out my college application, I would like to be able to include class rank. This is important to me because I know I do not perform well on standardized tests such as the SAT or ACT. I overthink every question and I start to panic. If my class rank is available to include, I believe that colleges will consider that along with a slightly lower SAT score when considering me for admission. GPA and class rank can also increase the ability to receive merit-based scholarships and financial aid. This is very important to many of us. Without these types
3 minutes.
Without these types of financial aid, some may not be able to afford college. If there is a possibility that our students can benefit from leaving the class rank system in place, why change it? I would like to say that class rank is not all about being valedictorian. That's just a prize to go along with our bigger goals. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Next we'll move to Jody Manis. Just remind everybody, 3 minutes, please. We still have a few people to go.
Hello and good evening. I'm Jody Mangus. I'm a proud graduate of Connellsville Area High School, class of '94, and I'm also a graduate of the University of Pittsburgh School of Pharmacy, class of 1999. I would like to read a comment from their petition from a lady named Charlotte. Charlotte says, "There's something deeply unsettling happening at Connellsville Area High School. It's not loud or dramatic, but quietly painful. The erasure of academic distinction. The move to eliminate class rank, valedictorian, and salutatorian titles may look like progress on the surface, an effort to reduce stress or foster unity. But let's be honest, it is not progress. It's a disservice. It's a disservice to the students who push themselves beyond limits, to the ones who stay up through the night rewriting papers, mastering calculus, studying for AP exams, not for attention, not for trophies, but because excellence matters to them. By removing class rank, Connellsville isn't creating equity, it's erasing the evidence of hard-earned success. What message are we sending to our youth when we say, we won't recognize who worked hardest, who achieved most, that striving doesn't matter, that effort is embarrassing, that achievement should be hidden in fear of making others uncomfortable? To the students who would have stood at the podium as valedictorian or salutatorian, this was never just about a title. It was about proving that coming from a small town doesn't mean having small dreams. It was about showing younger students, maybe kids working a job after school, maybe the first in their family headed to college, that excellence is possible here. Connellsville should celebrate success, not shy away from it. We don't ask the football team to play without a scoreboard. We don't cancel prom king or queen because someone else didn't win. So why are we silencing academic achievement? In a world that already tells rural kids that can't compete, that they can't compete, or that they won't make it out, Connellsville should be lifting up its brightest minds, not flattening their accomplishments. Removing class rank doesn't make things fair, it just makes them emptier. Please, keep class rank, keep valedictorian and salutatorian. Let students see that hard work still matters. Let them know that excellence is not something to be ashamed of. Because if we stop honoring success, what exactly are we teaching? And I have to say to that, wow, what a powerful comment. I myself would like to ask you to allow these kids to be proud of their accomplishments. Give them the recognition that they've worked so hard for. Eliminating rank does not eliminate their stress. They thrive on success. I know my daughter does, and they thrive on the stress to get there. They enjoy challenging themselves, and I am proud of them. I'm proud of them for creating a petition. I'm proud of them for speaking out against something that they felt was wrong. And I'm proud of them for coming here tonight to stand up and say, please reconsider your decision. These are your future leaders.
3 minutes.
In closing, I would like to thank you tonight for your attention and your consideration to this issue.
Thank you. Next we move to Sonny Bentley, transparency.
Good evening, thank you for having me. Transparency, there's a couple issues that I would like to address, but I'm going to address the elephant in the room or in the town or whatever you want to call it. You guys posted a position for superintendent that expired June 30th, 2025, and the public has not been brought up to date on the status of this position, how many applicants there are, this and that. However, there are some rumors running very rampant that a former employee, superintendent of our district, is applying. And I'd like to read something for you because I did a right to know request for the separation letter of Mr. Martell back in 2017 when he signed this agreement to escape criminal prosecution for using public funds to finance his campaign in Elizabeth Forward. It's on page 3, section 6. Mr. Martell understands and agrees that his employment with CASD has been canceled, that he will not be reemployed by CASD, and that he will not apply for or otherwise seek employment with CASD. I happen to know that he has applied twice. He's pulled out twice. I don't know what game he's playing, but when he was here, there was $14 million in the account that was depleted to $680,000. Our district now is sitting at almost $23 million in our general fund. I know people make mistakes and they should be afforded second opportunities. However, Mr. Martell made this mistake once, and the second time he was caught, he chose to make that mistake, to make an unethical decision that would affect the school districts that he took things from. It is not setting a good example for the students. None of these kids want to grow up and go to a school district and take away from the other students and the staff. Mr. Martell has done this, and I do believe that the community is willing to back me up in signing a petition. I cannot believe that you guys would contemplate bringing him back after he had his opportunity, and he blew it. And the people at Wilkinsburg, Elizabeth Forward, they're all saying, yeah, we wouldn't bring him back. So why should Connellsville be any different? Especially since we are actually seeing a little bit of light at the tunnel, and we do have a general fund that we can fall back on.
3 minutes.
Thank you. That's all I wanted to say. I would appreciate more transparency on the hiring of the next superintendent. It would be nice to hear something from the directors to the general public. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we'll move to Caitlin Hess, swim team.
Well, my kids are really mad that I made them stay past 8 o'clock right now, but I don't really have a prepared statement. I'm just here to advocate for my son. He's a swimmer. He wants to swim. He's going to Guyville this year. Kit will be going probably next year. We're very serious about swim. I wanted to just advocate for him to co-op this year with Guyville. I don't know what the issue is. It was explained kind of to me. It's a complicated process, but again, we're going to end up as Falcons in the high school. We want to put Connellsville on the map when it comes to swim, again, with my boys, especially my oldest. And so, yeah, I'm just here to try and get him on the middle school swim team this year. Swim starts like in a week or two, and we're ready to go, and just wanted to speed this process up and show up for the boys. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you. That's all we have for non-agenda items. Assistant to Superintendent?
I have nothing, thank you.
Mr. Evans? Okay, motion adjourned. Thank you.
Mr. Panzelli, can I make one quick comment, please? It's very quick. I just want to thank the students who came out and spoke, and the parents, and brought their thoughts to us as a board, because not many times do people come here. Usually there's nobody here, and we need to hear your input. And it meant a lot to me, so thank you all. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Motion